First, guys, I want to say thank you for coming out to my victory party tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Did anybody? You just got that, Bob? Thank you. Anyway, have some of you seen the videos that I put out for the mixer or for other things or whatnot? You guys getting them? Look okay? I'm an amateur at this stuff. I'm not getting the professional stuff done that I do online. They're getting better? All right. You know what it is? I'm getting a little more comfortable being uncomfortable. Is that what it is? Well, I don't know how to do the thumbnail thing yet. I'm trying to work on that so you can change the initial picture. And I know sometimes it's scary looking when you open it up and there's this thing there. I know that because I get scared of myself sometimes too. So it's all good. So I'll tell you a funny story to what happened. Did anybody see what happened? Dan, was it Monday or Tuesday? It was Monday, I think, when we talked about it, wasn't it, Dan? Yeah. So what happened was Monday. I'll take it back. Halloween, the 31st. I was doing some videos. Sometimes I do 3 or 4 or 5 videos at one time, and I'll send them out when they're supposed to get sent out because I do a lot of group stuff. But I'm trying to do some individual stuff. Like if it's your birthday, I can do it. I can do it today. Your birthday might be Friday, and then I just hit send, and it goes out Friday. Hey, happy birthday to you, Bob. Hope you have a great day. The family's treating you well, and I wish you all the best. So I can just send it out to you. So I did like 5 or 6 videos Monday of Halloween. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm doing these videos, and I'm like, hey, I'll just send my wife a video. I'm just going to say, hey, so turn it on, hey, honey, how you doing? Just want to, sitting here doing some videos, and I thought I'd send you one, tell you how much I love you, this, that, and the other thing, right? And I saved it, or I sent it, right? But it's still saved on the file, and I use this thing called BombBomb, so it's saved in the system. So Monday, I was sending out a reminder for this event, right? And I did the video, and when I save it, I got to edit it a little bit. And I edit it, and I hit send, and then I looked at the picture. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not wearing that shirt right now. I'm wearing a different shirt, right? And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? So I played the video. I sent the video to the people that I invited to the business mixer. It was the video that I had sent to my wife, the week earlier. And I'm like, and I hit send, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna look like a complete idiot here, right? And I'm shaking my head, I'm like, this can't be good, right? And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, it could be a nice talking point, I might get a call from somebody and say, Rob, you're so sweet. Yeah, right. Yeah. But in fact, I did get one. You called me.
It was charming.
It was charming. Yeah. I had another guy call me. What happened was, I get notifications when somebody opens up one of the videos, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm waiting for the first one to come in so I can say, oh, by the way, make sure you watch the right one, not the wrong one, And so he watched and he started laughing. He goes, Rob, at least it wasn't anything that you shouldn't have been sharing.
Right.
Yeah, right. So that was funny. So anyway, been a crazy week, crazy last year with the politics stuff, right? And I swore I wasn't going to go there tonight, and I'm not going to go there tonight. So anyway, wherever you are with it, it is what it is, and we just gotta deal with it, and move on. But I thought about something regarding this, and what I want to talk about tonight is it's the power of the personal note. Okay, anybody who here has gotten a personal note from me? Okay, right? Almost every hand's going up, right? Wow. So I'm sure over the years you've gotten a lot of business cards, right? So I expect them back for Christmas, so I don't have to buy any more, and I can recycle them, right?
Which one do you want, the rematch?
No, the new Keller Williams one, right? Now, years ago, like I got into this coaching program 14 years ago, and I was doing the numbers today. I was thinking about it, right? Because I do on average 10 a day, Monday through Friday. Now, there was a point I was doing 15 a day. There was a point I was doing 3 or 4 a day, right? But I went back and I thought about it and how many years I've been doing it. And I've written over 25,000 notes in the last 14 years. And I was like, wow, that's pretty, I'm thinking about it. That's a lot of notes, right? And then I thought about it. I'm like, how much postage did I spend on those notes, right? So I did the average of 46 cents is what I use, right? I was like, it was like $11,000 or $12,000, right? That's a lot of notes, right? Now, when you write a note, or when I write a note, some people might. Or let me ask you this question: when you first get a personal note, a handwritten note, What's a thought that might go through your mind? What does this say?
I can't read it.
Well, I was going to get to that. I was going to get to that.
I was going to ask you, how many people actually could read those notes?
But that's a good point.
Find a teacher to
It's
read.
a skill that you acquire when
So a little funny thing about that, Dina and Aubrey have learned over the years to read my chicken scratch, because I've written so many of them. And I guess what happens there sometimes is my thoughts are so far down the road, I'm trying to catch up with my thoughts, and I start scribbling. But anyway, but what did you say, Aubrey, again? What does this note say? When you get a note or you get an envelope and there's a label on there, 9 times out of 10, what do you think that is?
Sales.
And what do you do with that usually? Trash it, right? So there's power behind that handwritten personal note, right? So again, I was taught to do this, 14 years ago. When I first started doing it, I was uneasy about it. I was like, people are going to think the only reason I'm writing a note is to get a deal, But I had to learn to, hey, what can you say in a note? So there's a reason or a purpose behind the note aside from trying to get a deal. It's about building a relationship. It's about making somebody's day. It's maybe saying something that hits somebody at the right time. I remember I wrote a note one time. This guy actually had printed. Has anybody seen the note card? It just says the Commodore Group. You've seen that one. So the guy that printed them for me, he was struggling one time, right? And we were talking, offline, and I wrote him a note. And all I wrote in that note was, just because. And he got that note, he opened it up, and he said he started laughing, and he smiled. He calls me up, and he goes, Rob, he goes, didn't matter, you had 2 words in that note, and you made my day. You made my day, And I was like, and it gives you encouragement to keep doing these things, because the purpose, I believe, of writing them is to make somebody smile, make their day, or do whatever, right? Something in a positive fashion. So I've written a lot of these notes, like I said, over the years. And there was I'll tell you a story about a gentleman I wrote a note for, it must have been about 5-6 years ago. So my son, and some of you may have heard this story. So my son was playing basketball, right? He was in 8th grade, he was playing 8th grade basketball, and he had a friend that was playing 7th grade basketball at St. Ursula's. But we were going to the gym, and we had games right after each other at the same gym. So I get there a little early. Now his father's my client, and I sold their house, and they had bought a house using me over the years. So we walk into the gym, and there's like 3 minutes left in the game that's going on, and St. Ursula's is down. What happens is the kid, my client's son, steals the ball. He scores. They're down by 1. The team brings the ball back down again. He steals it, gets fouled. He gets 2 shots at the foul line, hits them both, and they win. So I went home, and I'm like, you know what? I'm writing him a note. So I wrote this 12-year-old kid a note. I said, Mason, man, I'm so proud of you. Great game. I've watched what you did. Way to hit those shots in the clutch. I'm proud of you. Something like that, right? And I got a call like 4 days later from his dad. And he says, Rob, I just want you to know you made our day by writing my son a note. Like when a kid gets a note, he's like on cloud 9, right? And he said, you don't know how happy he was. When he saw that letter come in and his name on it, he was so excited to open it up. And I want you to know how much it meant to us, right? You never know who you're going to impact with that. I had another buddy of mine, his son turned 7 years old, this is years ago, and he learned how to ride a bike. And I sent him a note, hey, congratulations on learning how to ride a bike. And his dad calls me up and says, Rob, he goes, that was so cool for you to do that. Thanks so much. And I said, well, I'm just trying to get in my database for 10 years. But it's so powerful when we do it, And you never know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. But you have to believe in doing these things whose day you're going to make. Somebody could be having a rough day, you just send them a little note, make them smile. I had a friend of mine that I've gotten to know over the last 14, 15 years, and we've gotten to be pretty good buds. And we had lunch for 2 hours about 3 weeks ago, and I wrote him a note. And he takes a picture of it, and he sends it to me. He goes, after all these years, you're still writing pretty good notes, And that, to me, that keeps me going. Now, there are times, Sean, when I write notes that you can't understand, so I apologize for that. But at the end of every note, what does it say?
It's a good life.
It's a good life, right? I can't tell you how many times I've written those words. It's a good life, right? Now, is it a great life? Do we have struggles? Do we have problems? Do we have all these things that surround us that they're challenges? Yeah. So that's why I don't say it's a great life, but it's a good life. No matter what's going on in our lives, it's a good life. So I'm going to share a story with you. One more. I was at this event 2-3 weeks ago, that basketball event. So every year they do this coaches tip-off classic downtown. It's for the Ripken Senior Foundation. So you buy a table and you invite some people there. And Jay Billis from ESPN, does anybody know who he is? He's an analyst. He's a lawyer, right? And he's the MC for the event. What happens is there's 5 basketball coaches that they get up on stage and they just talk. They tell stories. They talk about the college kids, and life and basketball and all this stuff. And it's pretty entertaining. And so I've been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years. But over the last 3 or 4 years, I've been to this event and I've been to a couple other these college basketball events. And I've gotten to know Mark Turgeon. He's the Maryland basketball coach. Now, when I say gotten to know him, just know him by face, know him like personally, hey, what's going on in your life, this, that, and the other thing. But I've gotten to know him. We got to the point where if I see him and he sees me, he'll walk up to me or I'll walk up to him and say, hey, what's going on, bud? This, that, and the other thing. And so I can't sit here and say that he knows my name, but he knows my face, right? So it was at the event. I go up there, and it's funny that this happened. We're at the event, and Gary Williams, the old Maryland coach, he was there talking to somebody, and I ended up seeing the photographer who I knew. And he goes, Rob, can I get you a picture with somebody? I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, who you want to get a picture of? And I'm like, well, Gary's standing right there, but he's talking to somebody. He goes, don't worry about it. So he taps Gary on the shoulder like this. He goes, Gary, come here, I got to get a picture of you. I'm like, well, I'm glad I'm that important that you can interrupt this conversation, right? So he takes a picture of me, right? But then I start walking, and Mark Turgeon is walking by himself. And the photographer goes, you want a picture of him? I'm like, yeah, sure. But so I walk up to him, and of course he smiles. I smile, shake his hand. How you doing, Mark? Da-da-da. I said, I got a question for you. I said, in this day and age with these basketball players and the high salaries and the NBA looming, you're dealing with a lot of talent, a lot of ego. How do you work that? Is it all basketball? Or I said, how do you work in this life thing? How do you coach that into your basketball? And he goes, well, Rob, to be honest with you, he goes, it's 80% life and it's 20% basketball. And I said, wow, that's great to hear. I said, so what do you do? I said, do you do a lot of reading? He goes, yeah. I said, well, what do you read? He goes, I read a lot of basketball. I said, do you read any personal growth, self-help stuff? He goes, no, I really don't. He goes, but we have speakers come in. We have speakers come in every now and then to talk to the guys. I'm like, Mark, I said, be honest with you, I do some speaking, I said, I know I'm only 5'2", and these guys might be 6'7". I said, but I would love the opportunity to talk to the guys whenever it presents itself. And he looks at me, he goes, I got to tell you, you got a good energy about you. Right? I said, well, I thank you, but if you ever get the opportunity, I would love to do it, right? Now, I left that conversation saying this is going nowhere, right? And it may go nowhere, but what happened was I wrote him a note. And every year I've met him, I've written him a note. And I've never gotten a response from him, never. But I just kept writing him a note. So I wrote him a note. I said, enjoy talking to you, I love the opportunity to speak. If you ever need anything, give me a holler. So 2 days ago, I got a note from Mark Turgeon. Right? And Dina, what were you ready to do with Dina?
I was ready to throw the trash.
She was ready to throw the trash, right? She was ready to throw the trash, right? So I'm like, what are you doing that for, right? So now I'm going to read the note to you, right? And you might think, well, let me just read it to you. So it says, Robert, he goes, thanks for the note and your support of Maryland basketball. The Ripken event is always one of my favorites. I've already had 2 speakers this year to talk to the team about life and basketball. So he remembered the conversation. So at this time, I'm going to have to pass, right? That's why she was going to throw it away. Anyway, and it says, go Terps, and Mark Turgeon, and it's a wet signature of Mark Turgeon, right? So I'm like, this is cool. I look at this as a total victory, right? Because I'm not going to get to talk right now, and because I'm not a basketball player, I may never get to talk to his guys. But what happened is, again, it's been 4 years. I've written this guy 3 or 4 notes. I just created a dialogue with this guy. I just created a friendship or a beginning of maybe a relationship with this guy. And he told me he never, read a lot. Well, my next note is going to be, hey, thanks for your response. If you need me in the future, I'd love to do it. Here's a book you might want to read. And who knows where that's going to go. So I'm doing it with purpose. So we write notes and we try to make people's day. You do it with a reason. You do it with purpose. So I'm glad I got to look at this before Dina threw it in the trash for me. But it's going to be a constant reminder to me to keep writing notes. It's going to be a constant reminder to me to try to keep impacting people and influencing people and trying to build relationships. So with that said, I'm going to finish up with this. I have an assignment for you, okay? And you got to promise me you're going to do it. Is everybody going to promise me they're going to do this? Right?
Before you tell them?
Am I getting a promise?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotta be good with them.
I just want you to promise you're going to do this. So here's the action step, okay? I have a stack of 25 notes here. I have an envelope that's stamped, so I'm even paying for your postage, okay? I'm even paying for your postage. What I want you to do, okay, is write me a note. No, what I want you to do is I want you to think tonight or tomorrow, within the next 24 to 48 hours, I want you to think of one person, just one person, whose day you can make by sending them a note. You don't have to tell me about it, you know. I want this on you. And I want you to sit down and I want you to write maybe the best note you've ever written to somebody. I want you to just, you know, make somebody's day. Put a smile on somebody's face. So think about somebody that you can do that for, but promise me you'll do it. All you gotta do is write the note and put the address on it. I got the stamp on it, okay? I'm not gonna lick it shut for you. You gotta do that too, okay? So look, notes here, the note card, the note. And it's funny, I walked in this morning, I was thinking about this, and this is what the note says on the front. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So be bold if you haven't done it before and write a note. Write a note to somebody and see what magic comes from it. And I guarantee you might not get an immediate response. That might not happen right away. But you may get a phone call, or somewhere down the line, you may be at a party, you may be having a conversation with somebody, and somebody might pull you aside, because this has happened before, and said, you know, Bob, yeah, I'm sorry I never responded to your note, but I got to tell you, that day you wrote me that note, the day I opened it, it really made my day. You know, so you can't write it with the expectation, I'm looking for a response. You know, you write it with an open heart, because here's the danger in today's Facebook world, right? Everybody puts something out there, and what are they looking for? How many likes did I get? How many likes did I get? You know, and then we determine our self-worth by the amount of likes we get. You know, don't worry about it. Just put something out there and let it do its magic. So aside from my note card, you're going to get a cannoli. Okay. So everybody gets a note card, and Dina, yes, you have to write one. Dina, and it's one for each of you. The married couple over here doesn't get away with one note; they got to get two.
She thought she could.
You got one. You got one. Here you go. Here you go. So I got
Let
the
me pass
promise.
it down.
Yeah, I got the promise from everybody, right? Yes, sir. Nobody's rolling their eyes, feeling uneasy. All right, there you go.
I should be thinking who they're going to send it to.
Yeah, that's what I want you to do. You just pass it down. If there's not, it should be enough. Here. There you go. So anyway, the power of the handwritten note. It's magical. Make it purposeful and make somebody's day. All right, is that good? Yes. You guys good? Yeah. All right, good stuff. Thank you.